Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Again, welcome to Success Theories. Um, Today I'm going to talk about something rather sad. Let's just say there's a lot of ignorance in this world. So, we have seen in various news reports, and this has been going on for years now, there's this thing called natural disasters. Okay? So, natural disasters are disasters that happen from nature. So, it's not like you can blame anything. It's not China did this, or India did this, or America did this. No, it just comes from nature. Okay. For example, hurricanes, tornadoes, wildfires, landslides, erosion, subsidation, if that's what it's called, thing where land sinks. All these things, okay, they come from nature. No one is to blame for it per se. No one caused it per se, right? That's what you get taught in school. Okay. So recently there have been these Maui wildfires. Okay. Maui is a Hawaiian island surrounded by water. California has had wildfires. California is a coastline state. That means it borders water. Um, uh, Pakistan, it had a giant flood. Um, Louisiana had a lot of hurricanes. Um, Up there in New York, you've had snowstorms. Okay. And when you watch the videos on why these things happened, then you are going to be taken through this scientific roller coaster. For example, about Maui's wildfire, that's the most recent one. They said that they were having severe drought despite being totally coastal. They are literally an island. Okay. They were having drought, and that made the conditions very susceptible to fires. And something triggered the fire, and boom, Maui's gone. Okay. So I am not somebody who denies science. I say, yes, there was a drought and there was a fire that came after it, and because of the drought, then when the fire sparked, it was not easy to to cut down, and then boom, you have this gigantic wildfire. And I agree that with the Louisiana tropical storms, then yes, there was first a cyclone, and just because of the humidity, then it expanded, and then boom, you have Hurricane Ida. And then in India, you have these landslides. Okay, yeah, so it's a hill, you see? So when mud comes this way, then obviously gravity is going to take it down, right? So I agree with the science. It's 100% accurate. Here's what I don't agree with: nobody is thinking. And highlight this word thinking, okay? Because it doesn't even require religion to think this, okay? Nobody's thinking what causes nature to happen. And uh, everyone thinks that, okay, yeah, we just had the drought and then all these factors. No, what causes those factors to align in that way and that happens? Because if you think about it, you could have a place that has no natural disasters and a place that has natural disaster. For example, Maui was just one of the Hawaiian islands. How come none of the other ones got a giant wildfire, right? Okay, and here's what I'm here to tell you: there is a source behind it. This is a show of power. Okay, this giant wildfire. I want you to think about it. Maui is a tourist location. It's it's a heaven on earth. You have the water with this blue turquoise color. You have the hills. You even have mountains, ranges, and it's just heaven. It's literally nothing is wrong with it. Okay, how could something like this happen? Well, maybe the one who created it is trying to show his power because of this mass ignorance. Okay? So, I want you to think about something else at the same time. The most developed places are the places with the most sin. Okay, think about it. New York, New York, Las Vegas, both of these are extremely developed cities. Okay? But that means that there are going to be clubs, there's going to be porn, there's going to be mass nudity. Beaches, for example, in Maui, I'm sure that there was There was no regulation of what clothes you wore. So I just want you to think about how deserved this was. Okay, God bestows you with this piece of paradise sent down. Okay, He has created it. Okay, with His, it's like, when you're like, okay, you look at this piece of architecture and you're like, okay, this is the designer. God designed it and He gave it to you, and you're using it to violate His laws. This is how you should ideally be dressed up. Okay, I wear niqab and sunglasses as extra, but you don't have to do that. Okay, but instead of that, you're gonna go and just destroy any rules and regulations. And since it's a tourist place, I'm sure they had bars as entertainment. You're gonna go and do something that God has said don't even enter a bar. You're gonna go create that. And now you're like all surprised when this show of power has come. So, do you know what God just did? He showed you that the person who gave you all this material is the same person who can take it away. Okay? And so, a lot of, like, for example, and you know how I just mentioned that most developed places are the most sinful? I want you to look at the most developed place with religion. Look at Saudi Arabia. You have all the good parts of liberalism and all the good parts of conservativeness. Okay? So, in conservativeness, you conserve the laws. And what's liberal about Saudi Arabia? There are no taxes, free healthcare. You had there was this guy talking on a podcast about it. You literally have only the things that help you. Okay? I mean, for reals. What is the benefit if you liberate alcohol in a place? Whenever you're trying to lose weight and you go on these diets and stuff, they're like, yeah, you can't drink it. You can either limit your alcohol to at least 30% less of what you were drinking before. I'm like, alcohol is so bad. Thank goodness Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saved us from that. So, anyways, back to the subject. These people went ahead and destroyed the laws that the one who gave them that land was, and now they're like suffering for it. And I want you to think about something else that happened. In one of those Middle Eastern countries, there was an earthquake happening. Okay, and inside of a mosque, a masjid, then there were people praying, and the earthquake starts happening, and half the jama'ah, half the congregation runs out. Okay, starts running around because obviously you want something to hold on to. Okay, and then you have the imam, he's reciting out loud, and you're like, oh my gosh, what surah? You have this whole book of surahs, right, that from the Quran. You're like, which one's he gonna pick right now? I was so interested. And then he picked Ayat al-Kursi, okay, to recite at that moment. Allahu la ilaha illa huwa al-hayy al-qayyum. Allah, He is the one that there's no other God except Him, the living and Hayy al-Qayyum, the one who is the living, and He will stay living, and He gives life. And then, like, within 1 minute, earthquake stops. I genuinely believe if all the people on Maui had gone into prostration at that moment and prayed, nothing would happen. It wouldn't have escalated into what it became. But of course, ignorance, as I said at the beginning. No, but I'm sure nobody thought of mentioning the person who's behind the show of power. And instead, everyone starts going, probably searching up what do you do in this case, jumping in water, whatever, yeah, etc. I'm just like, how did you let it go to this? How could the world let it go to that level? And even in I think it's called Nainital, India. My mom just called my grandpa the other day, and he was saying, yeah, there was this mysterious landslide. Okay, so that's a tourist place. He said they have rolling hills with breezes. That's like having cold weather in Arizona. India's a scorching place, and then he said you have cold breezes there, and you have this hill. Its grass is lush, and there's this mansion that's just insanely beautiful. And then this landslide comes, and like it's weightless. The mansion just tumbles with the mud, and it's all gone. And nobody's respecting the show of power. And somebody who's obviously not from the scum of society would probably say, well, look, God did His show of power. Nothing changed. I don't think anyone converted from that. My mom likes to give this example. Okay, obviously you should not compare God to a person, but I think I'll be justified in God's court for this example, because it's just to show time, not to show him. Okay, he says, imagine somebody. Okay, just imagine a hand like this. Okay, at the end of this very long dinner table. You know those long dinner tables that are like in super rich mansions? Just imagine them rolling their fingers. He says, I'll wait forever. His name is a sabur, the patient. He's gonna wait. He said, okay, when I see them going too far, I'll just show them, send another show of power. And that's what's happening. The only way to stop these natural disasters is to turn to the one who's letting them happen. Anyways, I hope you got something from this video. Share it if you think that it'll help someone else so that other people don't have to suffer from these natural disasters. Thanks for watching. Ma salama.